Hello and welcome to today's video on high altitude investing. I hope you guys are having a good day or evening or whatever time it is where you're at. And this is my Twitter handle, Marshall's Twitter handle, email address, website, and Bitcoin tip jar if you like what I'm doing. Now, today's video is going to be about whales, what they are, how to trade with them, the pros and the cons, and how you can tell if you're trading with a whale. So let's get right into it here. I'm going to be going over Pascal coin, and the reason is because it's pretty obvious there are whales in this market right now. And I'll explain, what I mean by that here in a second. So what is a whale? A whale is somebody that has a lot of capital, right? So a lot of volume, whether it's Bitcoin or whatever currency, and this is applicable to stock trading too, but if you have a ton of capital, so say you have 1,000 Bitcoin, okay, and something is only averaging a few thousand Bitcoin. Right now all these altcoins have really high volume, but if something is only averaging a few Bitcoin, then there's probably not whales in that market. Now, of course, if there's a lot of interest in it and all of that volume adds up, then there could still not be whales in the market. But I would assume that there are, purely because there's a lot of interest in the market, and so high volume traders will probably be jumping in on that market too. Now, so basically a whale is somebody that has a lot of money and wants to make more, just like everybody else on Poloniex. We want to make money trading it, unless you're using these coins for their purpose, which is awesome too, and I do that too. I like to download wallets and check them over. And that's a really good way to see if it's a good investment or not, is to go to the coins website, download the wallet, see how you feel about it, and if you could actually, function and use it, then it's probably going to stick around. So that's usually a pretty good thing to be watching out for. But if you want to be trading in these markets, it's usually good to trade along with whales, in my opinion, and I'll explain why. So basically, the easiest way to tell right off the bat if you're in a market with a whale is volume. So if there's a lot of volume, see how this one has 2,000, XMR has 2,200. Ethereum has whales in it at 5,600. So all of these markets up at the top down to about Factum, we have whales in the market right now. So high volume traders, very interested in the direction these coins are going. The reason I'm pointing out Pascal coin is because this coin pumps very hard, and I see a huge swing up soon. So that's why I'm pointing out Pascal coin in this video. But honestly, all of these coins that have high volume are going to be good investments unless a whale decides to dump all of their coin, right? So there's pros and there's cons to trading with whales. If a whale has a 40,000 Pascal coin, or the majority of the market, and decides he doesn't want Pascal anymore and just decides that he wants to get rid of it, take his loss or whatever, he can dump off and destroy the market. The odds of that happening are usually pretty low, considering the fact that a lot of whales are extremely good traders and know not to just dump off like that. They know not to just panic sell if something's happening, unless there's a catastrophic change in the market, right? So if there's bad news for the coin or something that really says get out of this market, even take your loss while you can, then that's usually when you'll see dumping off like that. Now, this is another way to tell if there's whales in the market. If you go down to the market depth and these huge pumps up like that, usually there'll be buy walls and sell walls. Now it's going to be pretty evenly distributed when there's high volume, so it's not going to be like just straight obvious, but sometimes it is. Like earlier today, I saw a huge buy wall on Ethereum. It's gone now, but it was a pretty big buy wall on Ethereum. Um, and you just know right off the bat. So what a buy wall is when, let's say you have 1,000 Bitcoin in volume for Ethereum at 0.0111 Bitcoin, and then at 0.012 Bitcoin, there's 5,000. So there's a huge volume difference in between that spot in the price and the order and the list of orders here. So if there's a huge volume difference, a big spike up, like see how there is right here. Let's see if we can find a little buy wall. See how there's point 0. These are moving around quite a bit. There's a lot of market movement. 0.005 right there, and then just below it 4. Oh yeah, just below it 4 Bitcoin. It's kind of moving around right here. It's hard to see, so that's because there's a lot of volume in this market right now. So it's kind of hard to just point that out. Let me find one that has a little bit less volume so I can show you a wall inside of a market. Because it's really important, because this is one of the things that I notice happens a lot. This is DCR, and this is one that's in my February investments list. So if you've been looking at that, then I would definitely be looking at this coin too. See how there's these little pumps up like that, those little walls up? Boom, right there. This is a spot where there's 80 Bitcoin at 0.001 for price, and then at just below that, it jumps up to 85 Bitcoin. So there's about a 5 Bitcoin buy wall right there. Now, when you see wells in a market, sometimes you'll just be looking at the market depth, and there'll be like a 90 Bitcoin buy wall. See, right now there's a buy wall in Pascal. There's a little buy wall in Pascal. We have like an entire Bitcoin right here in sell orders at 0.00429. So you can't really get into the market with a sell order, or you can't fulfill somebody else's sell order, excuse me, until the price drops a little bit if you want to get it for that price. So, you know, in Poloniex, whenever you make a purchase, let's say I'm going to purchase, I'll just buy some Pascal to explain this live for you guys. Ooh, see all that? See all these people adding tons and tons and tons of, ooh, see like that? These are orders being filled. Now some of this is natural movement, and some of this is, well, all of it's natural movement in a market. You know, whales are a natural thing in the market. But when you see a whole bunch of 777 Pascal orders like that, that's usually one person doing that. See how they're all the same number? That's one guy that has a lot of Bitcoin that knows what he's doing right there. And he knows when to trade up and trade down this market like that. So that's good to see, but let's go ahead and buy this Pascal. So say I want 1 Pascal. Now I have to buy it from one of these sell orders, and the cheapest sell order is at 42411. So I have to type in 42411 on the price per Pascal, and then if I press buy, 42411. Oh, it looks like it just went up. So looks like somebody already took that order from me. Oh, it went back down, obviously, because I just barely bought it. See, that's the type of thing that happens, is your open order down here in the market, down below the market depth, I mean. Oh, wow, how did I manage that? Down below the market depth right here, you have an open orders, and if the price is different than what the actual price is on the coin at the time inside of the candlestick, so wherever the price is on the coin and you press a buy order and it's not at the same price, it will have to move to that price to fulfill your order, obviously. But I mean, that's something that's pretty easy to forget, especially if you're a new trader, to remember those simple things. It can be really overwhelming. Trust me, I know, because when I first got into trading Poloniex, there was nobody else on the internet that was teaching anybody how to do it except for one person, and it wasn't really the graphical user interface. He didn't really go over the type of stuff that I've been going over in my videos. That's one of the reasons that I made this channel, but it's besides the point of this video. Let's see here. What else did I want to mention? As we're trading this coin right now, it's pumping up pretty nicely, so I'm glad to be holding it. Looks like it's making me a little bit richer. That's the goal, to consistently be a little bit richer every day. Because if you know, slow and steady wins the race in trading. It's not about making a ton at once. I have done that before, like my trading XMR video. A lot of people have watched that, my profits trading XMR. I made quite a bit of money doing that on that one little swing, but there's also a lot of risk in doing that type of trading. And unless you really, really know where you're at, it's always better to slow and steady wins the race. For a coin like Pascal, me personally, I feel like this is an incredible time to be buying. This looks like a bottom formation, a continuation pattern of a bottom formation. And I highly, highly, highly doubt that this coin is done pumping. Now, that does not mean that it won't, it doesn't have the possibility of dumping off or just completely losing its value really, really quickly. But, or even just downtrending a little while after this and finding a bottom and going up. But I do think that it's a pretty good time in the market. So unless a whale decides to dump off, or, there's bad news and so a lot of people decide to dump off, whatever, then there's probably not going to be really anything stopping this coin from going up really high. See these huge Bitcoin orders right here, 1600 Pascal, 2900 Pascal. That's why this has so much volume right now, and it's so good to be seeing this type of movement in markets. Everybody's pretty sad right now because Bitcoin just dumped off pretty hard. Now, this is really, really important in relation to traders, because traders in the cryptocurrency world, because Bitcoin is like the US dollar, right? You have to watch the US dollar if you're a stock trader, because that's people, stocks are hedged, you hedge your US dollars against stocks to make money because the US dollar keeps dropping in value. It's designed to. So everybody since 1913 knows everybody that's really, really wealthy since 1913 knows that you have to hedge your US dollars against the US dollar because it loses value. Now, Bitcoin is kind of like, it doesn't lose value, so it just makes all of the other things richer. But if it does dump off, then that usually means the volume goes somewhere else, and these ones increase a whole bunch. So it really just makes everything richer. If you look at the Bitcoin uptrend and then look at these altcoins, they don't trend up exactly with Bitcoin every time, but overall they trend up because Bitcoin is trending up, or because the interest in this type of technology is trending up. So it makes everything a little bit richer when Bitcoin goes up. But usually when there's a dump off like this, where we see it lose a whole bunch of value really quickly, which is a natural swing in the market, this is just, it's just recovering from what's happening in China, so don't be too worried about that. Then you'll see a bunch of volume coming into one of these currencies, or a few of these currencies in here, and they start to really run up and take that money that Bitcoin has made, because there's a whole bunch of money that's been coming into the Bitcoin market since here. So it's been making all of this money, and then it just takes some of it off and shaves it into altcoins, and then usually, catches leverage somewhere. Sometimes it's a little bit lower than where it's at right now. It wouldn't surprise me if it went, down a little bit lower here, just because of how markets are. But this isn't like a panic sell for me. This isn't I wouldn't dump all my Bitcoin because of this. This is a natural market move, in my opinion. Time will tell, of course, but it doesn't look like anything crazy as of yet, other than, you know, a pretty big dump bar right there, you know. But that's, like I said, that's perfectly natural to have this type of a move in a market. In fact, it's usually pretty good. In my opinion, this is just a little retest of this support level, and then maybe we'll have a retest of a support level below it, because the support range looks to be about right in here. So that's what I'm looking for right now is in Bitcoin, and is to have a little retest. But the whales in the Bitcoin market have been putting their money inside of the altcoin markets, because they know that when there's bad news in Bitcoin, like, you know, the stuff that's happening in China, then you can put it in another more profitable area. So that's what's happening right now in these altcoins. That's why they're pumping up like this. That's why we're seeing these swings up and down. If you actually look at the crypto market capitalization, all of it, it just looks like all red, and that's because of the fact that the US dollar is gaining strength right now too, and these are in the terms of the US dollar, which is very important to the percentage change. It means a lot. Now we have tons of volume. We almost have $500 million in volume right now, which is insane to me. $500 million in volume is really, really good. This is a good thing in the market right now to see all of these dumps off like this. This is when I take money and I put it in and I hold long again. This is when I hold long for months, and this is a really, really good buy time in these markets. So when there's this type of a swing like that, there's a lot of money to be made. There's a lot of volatility and things that you can profit off of if you're using the right measures to do so. Now, another coin that I've been looking at because of the whale movement is Ethereum Classic. I wouldn't be surprised if this coin takes over Ethereum's pump right now in volume for a little while. We'll see what happens, but I wouldn't be surprised if that that 5,600 Bitcoin in volume that we're seeing in ETH right now moved over to Ethereum Classic in the next little while. That would be the same thing that's happening, like where the money's coming from Bitcoin into Ethereum. It would be coming from Ethereum into ETC in the ETC market. So that's something that I look for, and something that usually happens in these types of swings is the money has to go somewhere, right? It's either going out into the US dollar, or it's going out into other cryptos like alternatives, or it's going, back into Bitcoin. It can only go a certain amount of directions. It can't just disappear. So that's what's happening right now. And this coin, I like to buy it up when it hits and tests support like this. This is a really good time to buy at the 38% support level. If this uptrend decides to continue, then that would be just a nice retest of that support level there. I'm going to actually go ahead and buy a little bit of this right now live for you guys. Just because I really do believe in this coin, and I bought more this morning, but that type of swing is a really good time to be buying. That's a really, really steady. See how that's just perfectly even like that? That's probably a whale inside of this market setting up all of his buy orders because he knows there's something important going on. So, yeah, that's basically everything I had to talk about today. So, you can tell if there's a whale in the market because of high volume and buy walls and, consistent when there's orders going off that are all the same price. It's usually one person spending a lot of his Bitcoin with a bot or, just with his hand or whatever, clicking. But he knows what's going on in the market and he knows how to play it. And so when there's a whale in the market, you'll usually look for those things. And the pros and the cons are that a whale could just decide to dump it all off. He could be on the inside of the coin, and dump it all off, which is illegal in stock trading. I don't know exactly how that would work in crypto, but he could have some inside knowledge and dump it all off. He could uh, yeah, basically he could just see some bad rep, dump it all off, have inside knowledge, dump it all off, or he could have inside knowledge and pump it all up, and it's vice versa. So there's just pros and cons. It usually means more volatility, and more volatility means more potential profit. So that's what today's video was about. I hope you guys liked it and learned something. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. You can email me, like I said. And you guys have a good day. And as always, stay